If you hate running in cold weather or rain, listen closer. If you're new here, my name is Prem, and I'm currently doing the Couch to 5K journey. Today's run will be run 30, and if you've been following along my journey recently, you will have known that I am currently in week 8 of the program, and within all my runs this week, I'm going to run specifically and intentionally on a treadmill. So you heard me mention if you hate cold weather or the rain, especially when you're on your runs, running on a treadmill may be a better option for you when these circumstances arise. So, is it easier or harder running on a treadmill? If you heard me talk in my previous run about all my experiences running on a treadmill, if I had to weigh them up and say what I really feel about them, it offers a more convenient and easy to use, more efficient kind of manner of running because you don't need to plan your route ahead of time. You don't need to think about how long you want to be on your run for, what kind of plans you've got throughout your day that you'll need to like worry about. You've got your mission in place. All you need to go is go to this machine, do your run, leave. That's it. It's very simple. So whether it's easier or harder on a treadmill, it depends on how you view it overall. It's easier in the sense that you just go to a fixed machine that stays in place and you run. You don't need to worry about your surroundings. You don't need to think about what the weather conditions are going to be like outside. Therefore, you don't need to prepare for them. All you need is some nice, comfortable clothing and a water bottle. That's about all you need, really. Compare that to the elements that may be harder on a treadmill. It's staying focused. When you're running time and time, and you're striking the same position time and time and time again, it can get quite difficult to stay focused because you're moving in the same motion, you're doing the same thing over and over, thousands and thousands of times. You're striking in the same exact place. It can get boring, and I find that my focus is really drained when the only thing I've got in front of me is a screen showing me a load of numbers like the time and distance and whatever. It's not as engaging, it's not as stimulating as running outdoors and seeing all the different things around me and seeing loads of like new areas, new locations, buildings, roads, cars, a lot. You don't get to experience any of that. The fresh air, you don't get to experience any of that because you're in a machine, you're in a gym, and all you've got really is your screen in front of you, and that's it. So following on from my last run, I said I was going to do the experiment of doing week 8 entirely on a treadmill just to see how I feel, running 3 times. Today will be the second run of week 8, so this will be my second time running on a treadmill. And I'm just going to tell you exactly how I feel. So here's why treadmill running may be better for you. Here's why I think treadmill running may be better for you sometimes. And this is more to do with these, if you're more of like a stats nerd and you really like getting into the details of things, this may be better for you in some instances in where your primary goal isn't just to run and get to a certain arbitrary goal, like a 5K, for example. If your goal is more so to run faster or to increase your cadence or do something very, very specific, in those instances in your training, this might actually be better for you than running outdoors because you have much more control over things like your speed. You don't have to worry about the weather. You kind of limit all the factors that could impact your running, and the only thing you've got in front of you is just your machine and you. That is it. And why I say that is because you can get instant feedback on anything you're trying to monitor or manipulate with your training. So if your focus is to increase your speed, which if you haven't reached a 5K yet, probably shouldn't be, but maybe in the future, when you want to focus on perhaps getting quicker, running on a treadmill might may be better for you. And what I mean by that is you can get instant feedback you can set your speed at, let's say your goal is to run a 5K in 30 minutes. And in order to do that, you need to run 1 kilometer every 6 minutes. And if you're currently running in a 5K within 40 minutes, that means you're running a kilometer every 8 minutes. 8 minutes. And you need to quicken that up to 6 minutes, because every kilometer times 5, being 8 times 5 gives you 40 minutes, 6 times 5 gives you 30. So you need to get quicker so you can reach your 5K in a quicker time period. And one way you can do that is on a treadmill. And I haven't really done anything like this as of yet, because I haven't reached my goal yet of running 5K. I'm very, very close to it. But I'm not going to focus on that until I actually reach the goal first. And then maybe in the future, I'll actually consider training to run faster and think about other things. But for now, I'm not focused on that. But what you can do is use treadmills to elevate your training and focus on metrics other than your distance, being your speed. And you can manipulate the speed and go faster or go slower and see what works for you. I actually played around with this a little bit on my runs, and what I found was 8 minutes per kilometer is my comfortable pace. But when I increased it to about 7.5 minutes per kilometer, I was pushing myself a little bit, but I feel like I held my own. I increased my speeds. I increased my speed by 30 seconds per kilometer, meaning that if I was to run a 5K at 7.5 minutes per kilometer, that would mean that if I ran the 5K at that exact speed the entire way through, my 5K time would be 37.5 minutes or 37.5 minutes. So you can see how it can be helpful to monitor your speed and see what pace you're comfortable at, and progressively increase the speed over time. And eventually you'll get to a point where 6 minutes per kilometer eventually feels comfortable if you keep progressively overloading over time, increasing the speed very slowly to a point where you're growing in confidence with faster speeds. And that so that when you run outdoors, your new normal is running 6 minutes per kilometer, let's say. It's a lot harder to track this when you're running outdoors, unless you've got like a really technical, specific running watch, maybe like a Garmin or an Apple Watch. That may be able to tell you the specific details, but I don't have that. I've got a very generic smartwatch, and I don't even use this for running really. It looks a little bit like an Apple Watch, but it's not. It's from Amazon, and it's not really relevant to what I'm talking about. But if you've got like a really specific sports watch that is designed to track your running metrics and all these other kind of things, then yes, I suppose it can be helpful. But if you're not concerned about tech monitoring your running performance, then that's not going to be of much use to you, because these kind of technology can be very expensive. And if you're just a beginner runner, you don't need all that. That's only if you're like very, very serious, almost borderline athlete, professional athlete. In the case of running, should you need to get any or invest in any technology such as this, honestly, you don't even need it. This watch cost me like £15-20, and I don't even use it for running. I use it to track my steps every day. So you don't need to worry about that kind of thing. But if you do have like super specialized smartwatches, then that you can use that to monitor your speed if you're running outdoors and track your life performance in real time. And I guess that's why professional athletes do invest in that kind of tech, because that is essentially what a treadmill does, and you can manipulate the speed and see exactly how fast you're running and whether or not you should run quicker or slower. So that's why I say that with the instant feedback. If you want my honest opinion, ultimately, I believe outdoors is better, and infinitely better. And I've said this in the last run, and I'll probably say it in the future run. Outdoors is just so much better. And I feel like I'm gonna repeat myself saying this, but there's just so much better, so many better things that come with running outdoors. First of all, you're getting natural sunlight. Not to mention you're getting fresh air, but also you get the opportunity to experience new areas if you wish. You get to run in parks. You get to see other people. Running outdoors, especially in good weather when the sun's out, is honestly it is it's an unmatched feeling, especially when you get to late spring, early summertime. Those are great times to run, and you'll see a lot of people running, especially in national parks or local parks. Perhaps you may have seen people in park runs in the past, of like people gathering together and then doing a few laps of their local park. That is a great experience. Although I've never done that myself, maybe I'll do it in the future. But that is an unmatched feeling, going for runs in nice areas, nice parks with lakes and all kinds of things, greenery. Whereas when you're running in a gym, well, in my gym particularly, it's quite an enclosed space. There's no natural sunlight. There's like white bright LED lights above me, and it's an enclosed space. There's no natural sunlight. When I'm on the treadmill, I'm kind of just staring into a glass wall, glass panes. There's nothing to focus on other than the screen, and I find it really hard to focus because this might be a little bit ADHD-y. I don't know if it's that, but I find it really hard to focus when the only thing I've got in front of me is a screen with the numbers. It's very hard to stay motivated because there's not any stimulus that's keeping you interested and keeping you engaged in your runs. All you've got is a screen in front of you, and that's literally it. Unless you've got maybe something playing on your phone that you can help keep you interested and engaged, it's very, very hard to stay focused because it's ultimately not the same as running outdoors. And if I want you to be left with one thing and one key takeaway, is that running on a treadmill can have its benefits. You can have better control over your speed and manipulate your times and other metrics in real time and make real progress in those elements of your training. But if you're running for enjoyment and for fitness and for health, running outdoors is infinitely better. And the only instance in which I'd recommend running on a treadmill is if the weather conditions outside are horrible and it's like super rainy, super cold, windy, whatever. Only then would I suggest you run on a treadmill, but try and run outdoors as much as you can because there's so many known health benefits that'll make it so much of a better experience for you than running indoors. And that's where I'll leave you. And I'll see you in the next one.